The state of anxiety is very dangerous to our health, both physically and mentally. But here's the catch. In fact, it is a preset program that was necessary for the survival of cavemen, and in fact, not only people. This program is practically every living creature. And if for animals everything works plus or minus, as well as hundreds of years ago, then for people and anxiety and the subsequent stress in our time is a huge problem, which faces every sixth person on our planet. And if you exclude children and the elderly, we are essentially all experiencing stress and anxiety on ourselves. Every day, and it seems like anxiety is understandable, but nada. If you understand how this mechanism works, what functions it performs, and why it was created in the first place, you can not only minimize the negative effects such as constant stress, premature aging, irritability, instability, low and productivity, and much more. But you'll also be able to use anxiety to your advantage. After all, most people interact with anxiety instinctively, and some who are better at it, and become successful and self-sufficient people. So in this video, I'm going to break down the phenomenon of anxiety so that everyone recognizes their enemy in person, and some come to see that it's not an enemy at all. Our body is a fucking megacomputer. It's more complex than anything man has created, because we still haven't fully understood it. We have hundreds of mechanisms in our body that are designed to keep you positive and keep us from going to the game-over screen. And many of these mechanisms worked perfectly well thousands of years ago when the world was very different from what we have now. And though man is evolving, the process has not kept up with the pace and development of our world and the law by which we live. You wake up in the morning and for another hour you do not realize that your body is naughty and your thoughts are as if in a fog, but in a stressful. Scenario. Concentration is at a maximum. The brain processes hundreds of options per second. Relying on some extraneous shura, reactions become lightning fast. Even your vision gets better. And this is accomplished by quickly rearranging supply priorities in your body blood from your digestive system to your reproductive system, simply put, from your peonies and supply to your immune system. And these are the very systems that are designed to keep you alive for the long term. Because due to limited resources, there is no point in supplying it all in your body. If in a couple of seconds you will be eaten by a tiger and all your released energy is directed to your brain and muscles, thereby saturating them with blood, and all your sensory systems of vision, charm, as well as your concentration, strength, endurance are working at the peak of possibility. And at this moment, fear is often activated in advance, and it is understandable. Your brain for these seconds is going through all possible options and trying to assess the situation. But in advance, prepare yourself for the worst, so that if there turned out to be a real tiger, they squirrel. You didn't waste your time shitting your pants. You will shit yourself in advance, and the trick is that fear acts here as an auxiliary mechanism, and it kind of encourages you to make a decision to hit or run, and when you've made that decision, the fear just disappears because the body doesn't need it anymore. If you have ever been taken by Gopeniks, you felt it before. The cancer is always scary, but as soon as you make the decision to fight back or run away, you do not feel fear. There's not much more to it than that. It just comes to you afterwards. You say, okay, it's all cool. Ouch. Truth, like, I believe it. Because we live in a different time. We don't sleep in caves on cold floors, and we don't have snakes crawling around the fire at night. And we're not cavemen for thousands of years, and you'd be right. But modern life is a marathon, in which you at 16 are already thinking how you future to make a lot of money, how to find a girl, and Vaughn. Someone pumped up, and you do not. And someone has a car. I only have sneakers after my brother, someone richer, someone poorer, someone eats black ukra, and someone does not have enough for 2 eggplants and millions of other factors. Although modern society and technological progress gives you an incredible amount of benefits and advantages, it at the same time puts a lot of pressure on a person, and this pressure just causes the activation of the very mechanisms of constant anxiety and stress. Inside each person, the body receives signals that you are in danger and mobilizes all your internal resources in high alert mode. But if you were previously against the tiger. And although the situation looks dire, there was a neospermy in it. Plus, it's pretty simple. You saw the danger and you needed to avoid it. Play dead. Take a branch and raise it above your head so the lion would think you were much taller, or scare him off with fire, or get in somewhere shorter. It all depended more on the experience the person had, but a dangerous situation was solved in a short time. Well, or you were stupidly eaten, but now the organism receives signals to be in danger, but the situation is so multi-component and complex that there is no simple solution for you, and the organism does not understand what is happening. But just in case it puts you in the anxiety mode because it stupidly has not adapted to our current realities, and you get overheating of your motor and all those disadvantages that I described above. But how to be now? You ask, and I will answer you. You need to set goals, challenges, and achieve them. And not because YouTubers, motivators, and info gypsies say so. It's because they're two completely different stresses. If you have a lion bending behind you, then you have an adrenaline type of stress. But if you have made yourself a bow, sewed some slippers, set traps, and you yourself start chasing the lion, then it is already noradrenaline stress. And noradrenaline is the neurotransmitter of proper stress. This winner's stress, you become a predator, not a prey, which is why a lot of people these days do extreme sports. In fact, skydiving can be compared to making your first million because. But adrenaline is the neurotransmitter of talent, ability, and creativity. Therefore, when a person sets a goal and goes to it with the help of active actions, it is called being a predator in our time. And achieving a goal is stressful. But unlike adrenaline stress, we act, not wait. And because of action, we use those resources that our body gives us, which in turn restores our immunity, and hormones are broken down into their constituent parts. This is why people who set goals and go for them hardly ever get sick and live much longer than others. So even if you have a lot of problems in your life that make you in a constant state of anxiety, and you can't solve them right now, just stop thinking about them. Because if you can't solve them, then just set yourself another goal, not so global, and go to it. And when you reach this goal, you will surprise yourself. After that, your condition will improve, and even after that, you will be able to see more clearly the way to solve your first problem, which did not let you live peacefully. So remember, you can only get out of constant stress through setting a real goal and doing real physical and mental actions. Thank you all, and wishing you less stress.